Somebody wrote in and said, "Thank you, Bonnie, for all your great info. Where can I go to learn more about what accommodations are right for my ASD son entering middle school?"
Okay, so this is not really classy or sexy, but I honestly would start by Googling accommodations for high-functioning autistic student in middle school. You will get a lot of accommodations, and you can seriously consider each one and decide whether or not you think it fits. That's actually one way to get accommodations. Rights law may talk about accommodations. They're available kind of in a limited way on the internet. And then we have something else, special education rights and responsibilities, which I have heavily borrowed from in doing the show. And they have really well-written chapters on all aspects of special education. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have good accommodations. I don't know whether CARD has anything on the air. Does CARD have anything on, Skills Live? Not on the air. Does CARD have anything at its website about accommodations?
Well, here on Autism Live, we actually did a show. It's probably 3 or 4 years old, where we had a middle school teacher who we had heard about through the grapevine that, does a great job. And she, over the years, compiled a list, and we did a show on it. I think it was in a period of time when we weren't necessarily putting the best, putting the best words so that you could search it up. But if you look for it and can't find it, and email me at s.penrod@autism-live.com, I will make it my business to find it, because it was a particularly great show. It was just about when my son was going into middle school, and I used everything that she had on the list, and it was great.
It seems to me another way to go at this is to talk about the problem, or the symptom, what is the academic or other issue. In other words, if he is taking medication and it makes him really groggy, so he needs an extra half an hour of sleep in the morning, that's the problem. So the fix for that, for example, would be an accommodation that says you can, come to school a half an hour late. So maybe rather than just trying to figure out what the accommodations are first, get a really good working definition of the problem. There's obviously some really common accommodations that are probably pertinent to all age groups. You always have preferential seating. You have people getting extra, being given extra time to complete homework assignments, extra time on tests, receiving your tests in a quiet room. For people that have a lot of sensory issues, you might need a sensory break. You might need, to leave the classroom and walk around for a couple minutes. Let's say you have a metabolic disorder where you need more frequent nutrition and bathroom and water breaks. That could be written into your IEP. It just, so those are sort of some of the more frequently seen and maybe more conventional ones. It depends on the nature of the problem.
I will say.
And if you want to write in a supplemental question about the specific problems that you're trying to target in a subsequent show, we could talk about.
There you go.
Whether those issues are properly addressed by accommodations or by services or by what.
I think
that would be a good question.
That's a great question. I will say the one thing that helped us the most that would never have occurred to me was to ask for a double set of books. So that each one of his classrooms, there was a set of books for him, but there was a set of books at home, so that his backpack didn't weigh 700 pounds, and we always had the book. Always. Yeah. Because before, there were times he'd come home and he'd say, I'm supposed to do page 71 in my math book, and I'd go, where's the math book? And it didn't come home. So, but having the math book at home at all times, and I don't know why that wouldn't have occurred to me, but it just wouldn't have.
Another really common one along these lines is a communication log, right?
Oh, yeah. That's imperative. Where somebody, there's a notebook that comes home and goes back where somebody writes something. So if there's an important note for the parent, oh yeah, that's a lifesaver. I wish we could have that in life, Bonnie.
A communication book?
Yes. Yes.
Or you could write like, hey, you were kind of weird today. Was something going on with you? I mean, I really couldn't get on your wavelength. Write me back.
Well, even just with my husband, there are times, I don't know.
Well, we all know that husbands need heavy accommodating.
Well,
that's why
I
we're
don't really
so
think
tired.
it's me. I think it's me, but somebody will say, can you ask your husband this? And then I forget. Like I should just text him right then. Anyway, I digress. No one needs to hear my marital issues. So the next one. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.